Again, everybody, it's Dr. Deborah, your How to Love. I call myself a guru, but How to Love minister. How about that? Healer. That's what I do as a psychotherapist. I talk to people about their problems, and hopefully, by the time we're done talking, 6 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it takes, we're at a different place. So, I'm sharing with you these postures that I learned because I believe everybody can use these in their lives to create change in their relationships. I call it how to love because I think when you love somebody, you do whatever it takes, of course, and understand this. This is a mutual love relationship. You do whatever it takes to maintain the relationship. So I have to always throw that disclaimer in there because whenever I say you do whatever it takes, I know people start thinking, what if somebody's hitting you? What if somebody's cheating on you? What if we're not talking about that situation. It's up to you how you handle that. I'm just talking about in a mutually loving relationship where you're trying to work through being with your partner, your sister, your mom, your brother, whomever, your best friend, whomever it is. That's what I'm talking about. And today I want to talk about acceptance because I think a lot of times we fail to allow people to be themselves. We have our idea about who we think they are and how they should be. As your older brother or older sister, mom, dad, we have these narratives, these stories about who we think people are or should be. And so we many times don't accept them for what they present to us. And people know when you're fighting against them being themselves. Um, and it's difficult because it's when you love somebody, you have this image of who you think they are or what they should be. And maybe for a long time they were that, authentically or not. They were whatever you thought they were. But then one day you looked up and they were doing or being something else and you like, where you come from? Because that's not the person I knew growing up. That's not the person uh, that used to be my mom or used to be my dad. That's what happened to you. And at that point is when your challenge is to just accept what is, who they are. Not only who they are, but what they say. One of the things I love about being a family therapist is that we believe that people are always telling the truth. And that's part of how we accept them for whoever they are, whatever they present. Because if we are curious enough and ask enough questions and talk to them long enough, anything that's inconsistent, it'll show up. And so our job is not to say, okay, well, that don't sound right, or that he just contradicted himself. Well, if he did or she did, they must have good reason. So we keep listening and asking questions. And so that's one of the behaviors that I'll talk about later. Listening, I've talked about, and asking questions. But it all has to do with just accepting what people present as their truth. And that truth, I'm going to talk about that next. But just allowing it to be their truth, allowing them to be whoever they are, whatever it is. And this is difficult sometimes because sometimes people's ideas, beliefs, and behaviors and attitudes, they bump up against what we think. And then another challenge becomes how do we just be inclusive and allow them to be whoever they are, no matter what our bias is about that thing. So to be accepting is to just allow people to be, just to embrace them as they are. If you're a mom, you got kids, they maybe you have two or three, and each one of them have a different personality, a different way of doing things, none of which you agree with. You are structured, you are in line, you have your ducks in a row. That's how you train your kids. But when they left home and started their own lives, they're like, maybe they are entrepreneurs and you wanted them to get a job and have some benefits. So now you're working through that and you wonder what's going to happen to them because all you know is the structure of the traditional way to earn a living or earn a life. And let's say your youngest one is a starving artist and he's just fine with that. Living day to day, week to, that's his thing, that he thrives off that, but you struggle with that. Or maybe your mom One day she just stopped being a mother, the kind that you were accustomed to. And now you're trying to figure out, what do you do with her? Maybe she's dressing in ways you're like, where did this come from? And going out and hanging out, and maybe she never drank before and she's drinking. I mean, and I don't mean alcoholism. I just mean just doing stuff that she didn't do before. And now you have to readjust to what she is doing now. So that's what I mean. And that's hard to do, especially when you have grown accustomed to a person behaving a particular way. But the whole idea behind acceptance is to embrace people where they are, doing what they do, without trying to get them to do what you think they should do. Because what that is saying, I don't love you for who you are. I love you only if you're behaving the way I want you to behave, doing the things I want you to do. And we know that is not love. That is something else, fear. I don't know, but it's not love. And if it is, they don't know it. And that might be an opportunity for you to say, I'm struggling with this new you, just give me time. Just saying that says I love you, and that I am trying not to be this judgmental, rejecting person. And I'm not doing a very good job of it. See, I'll put words in your mouth in a minute. But my goal, what I really want to do is just allow you to be whoever you are, because that's what's important to me. And I want to be in this relationship. So to accept is just embrace them, just where they are, how they are, doing what they do, and they know it. And even if you're struggling, again, I say this every time, if you're struggling with doing the thing that it says I love you, just tell them I'm struggling, but I want to. I'm working really hard at this. I'm being very selfish by trying to get you to be something else. But more than anything, I want you to feel comfortable around me. So give me some time. But my goal here is to just allow you to do you. And that's all I can do. And that's all I can do. Offer it to you. Let you know what it feels like when somebody does not. Somebody you love is just not allowing you to be yourself. Wow, ain't nothing like that. So, until next time, practice being accepting and see what happens. It's been Dr. Deborah, and I looked away just now. This has been Dr. Deborah. See you next time.